So this is going to be def grammar extended. So first, this is the extension of the slightly simpler def grammar, where your grandma does not understand what it is that you're saying unless you use all caps. So if you don't use all caps, she asks you to speak up. And if you do use all caps, she actually still has no idea what you're saying, but she just thinks that she does. So she responds with no, not since, and then some random year between 1930 and 1950. In order to exit the loop, you have to say bye to your grandma in all caps. Now in this extended version, you have to say bye to your grandma 3 times. So we're going to keep count of that using a counter variable, which we'll call just bye counter. We'll just call it counter. We started off at 0, and then it's typically a good idea to have something that comes up on the screen to show that the program has started. So we'll start it by just having grandma say, come give granny a kiss. Okay, now we're going to get started. Now, start with our while loop. You always, in the while loop, put the condition where you want to stop looping, right? So for us, it's while the counter is less than or equal to 3. Or actually, just strictly less than 3, sorry. So this means that once it gets to 3 or any number larger than 3, then we're going to be done here. So, we start by getting the response. So the response, we get it from gets.chomp. Now it's really important, especially in this one, to use the .chomp, because since we're going to be comparing the response to different strings to try to see what it is, we want to make sure that that new line character isn't there so that the code can look a lot cleaner and just make a lot more sense when you're reading it over. So the first case, right, that we want to take care of, because this is the first thing that we want to know, is are you saying goodbye to grandma? Do you want to just get out of here? So if the response is equivalent to just bye, then that means that the counter needs to increment. So counter is equal to the counter plus 1. Now, a much handier way to just add a 1 to something is to do counter plus equals 1. These two statements are exactly the same. This line will actually, when this is being read by the interpreter, be read as this. This is exactly what it means. It's just a nicer way to write it, so we're going to go with that. Now, once we increment it, then we have to check, is this the 3rd time? If it is the 3rd time, so if the counter is equal to 3 at this point, then grandma's going to say bye. So we say, okay, Sonny, talk again soon. Now, there we go. Now, otherwise, if that is not the case, if this is not the 3rd time, then grandma pretends that she has no idea what you're saying, remember? So she will go, what was that? Because she didn't hear you, or is pretending to at any rate. So then we put our end, because that's ending that check, and we go back to the initial if. So if it's not bye, then the second thing that we need to check is, did you shout or do you need to speak up? So that's an else if the response does not equal response.uppercase. And this is just the simplest way to check if something is all capitals. Then she will say, huh? Speak up, Sonny. And we will reset the counter to 0, because you need to say bye 3 times in a row for her to understand that you're not going to stick around and listen to her for a while longer. So then the last case is you didn't say bye, but you did say something where you shouted. So we say puts no, not since, and then this is where the random number generator that you saw in an earlier chapter comes in, where we can do 1930 plus a random number from 0 up to 21. Since this is non-inclusive, this will just give us a random number between 0 and 20, which will get us to a range of 1930 to 1950. And then we turn that into a string, and we append an exclamation point at the end. And again, we reset the counter to 0. And that should do it. So let's give it a try. We found our program. Come give Granny a kiss. Hi, Grandma. She has no idea. If we turn on the caps lock and we say, hi, Grandma, she says, no, not since 1931. We're just going to say hi a couple times just to get see that we're getting the right range of numbers. Okay, and if we say bye, she says, what was that? And then we say hi again, and then we say bye 2 more times. We're still not done here because there was something that interrupted the 3 byes. But now we have 2, so our counter is at 2. So if we say another bye, then she says talk again soon, and we exit the loop. That does it for Deaf Grandma Extended. So we'll be uploading this